Intro first. Hey, all right, guys,
Okay.
what's going on? We're live. Welcome to the Poker Live podcast. My name is Joe Ingram1, aka Chicago Joey. I'm joined today by a young gentleman who has been around the high stakes PLO world for a very long time. We've battled a ton back a couple of years ago, 2550, 5100. We had some very fun moments together. And he's a very big part of the Brazilian poker community. His name is Gabriel. Gabriel Goffi, aka Verve.Oasis on PokerStars. Did I say your last name?
You can say Gabriel Goffi.
Okay, Gabriel Goffi.
Yeah,
Welcome, Verve. I'm not going to call you that. I'm going to call you Verve.Oasis because I've called you that for like 5 years now. So.
yeah. Okay, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining me for a live stream. We're happy to have you on, Verve. You're someone that I've been trying to get on for quite a long time. And for those that don't know about you, we're going to be chatting about something that you're very active in the Brazilian poker world. You do a lot of, I guess, mental coaching, or it seems like coaching overall in general with people in the Brazilian poker community, correct?
It's lagging a bit, Joe. Can you repeat the question, please?
I said that you do a lot of work with the Brazilian poker community in terms of teaching. Is it more poker teaching, or are you teaching, I guess, more mindset type stuff?
I have some products around poker. It's and my first one actually was Moving Up, called Moving Up. It's more mindset. It's not just for poker players. It's for everyone, any profession. It's the skills that I learned in 5 years playing poker. Super hard, like total immersion on that. So it's an online course, 100% online. Yeah, and it's more about mental game, how you approach life, how you approach success, and yeah, so something like that. And now I'm creating a new product around poker too, so you'll be more teaching how to be a professional poker player. Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk about we got a couple hands, guys, some PLO hands, because this is like the high stakes PLO version of my podcast. So I have some hands me and Verve played. They're debatably fun. And I also have a couple other hands we're going to take a look at from the high stakes thread on 2+2. We're going to chat about Verve started streaming on Twitch. He's been streaming some 2550 and 2.5 Zoom as of late. And a couple other various things along the way, but those are kind of the main topics what you guys can expect to hear about here. And as always, we are live streaming this on YouTube, and you can also find the podcast on iTunes starting tomorrow. You can search for Joe Ingram1 Chicago Joey. All right, Verb. So you took I can kind of hear myself back on your end, but you took last year off, it felt like, from PLO.
Yes, something like that.
And now you're back in the streets. You've been streaming on Twitch. You've been battling a little bit. How's it been being back? You know, what was going on? Why'd you take a break from playing?
Actually, it's like almost 1 year break. I was playing a bit just for fun, but I really wanted to improve my skills on entrepreneurship. I really fall in love with that, to create products to give value to the community. So it's a very good thing for me to do. I like it to do it actually. And what happened is the games got bad. 2550 got Zoom, was Zoom. So I'm hearing my voice too on your, I think on your mic. It's like double voicing.
Oh, it's a little
Can
bit.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah, it's because I'm hearing myself.
Ooh, you probably got a little bit of lag on your end.
Okay, so I took a break for okay, I said let's create my business, let's create my company. Now we have 6 people on my team, and so I had to, if I want to play very high, I need to be focused 100% of time, and I couldn't because I had to study marketing, entrepreneurship. I had to study my mental coach stuff, and I said, okay, let's take a break. Game is bad, and I was an adult swing too. In January I was playing 50-100 Zoom against the best poker players in the world. I think I lost like 250,000, and I said, okay, it's okay, but I'm not playing focused. I was just studying entrepreneurship and playing for fun, so it wouldn't make sense for a professional. And I just slowed down. I'm not saying I never play super hard again, but it's just uh, was some decision that I made, and now sounds super was perfect for me, and I'm really enjoying the decision that I made 1 year before. 1 year before, yeah.
So you're referring to when PokerStars changed the high stakes rules and they introduced 5100 Zoom. You were one of the first people who was playing in that pool of a game that now never runs anymore and probably will run only a handful of times in 2015. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So January probably was the last month that was running, and I lost like a lot. Then the next month only 2550. No action, good action. I said, oh fuck it, I won't try to grind it up to win this back, and let's focus on my business. And yeah, that's it. I started to go to United States a lot to do to learn. So that's it.
What do you think about the state of the high stakes PLO games right now? Now that you've been back in the action.
It's super difficult. It's not that like used to be when you could table selection, especially. Actually, I never did table selection, but it's something that you can choose your games. You can really get in a good spot. Right now, you can't. You just go into the pool of the players and try to win. The edge, it's very close. Right now I probably underdog over there against the best. It's very difficult. You have to be very mental prepared to play those games. Yeah, I think it's very difficult to someone grind it up and to play high stakes nowadays, but still beatable, I think.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the chat said they made a sarcastic comment. They said, "Wow, 25 buy-in downswing." So I'll tell you guys a little bit about Verve. So Verve, what I always remember about Verve is that he ran extremely well and never lost ever. So for Verve, losing 25 buy-ins in a downswing at 5100, that's a lot for Verve. For like me, that's a day. For Verve, that's a big downswing for him. So he looks at downswings a bit differently than you guys might because he never loses. And when you don't lose, when you start losing, you're shocked. You're shell shocked. You're like, what's wrong with my account? Why am I not making every flush draw right now? How am I getting set over set? So that might be why Verve.
It's not true. Actually, didn't start on January. I was crushing in 2014, 2013 till WSOP. I was winning close to $1 million. So in the year, playing high stakes, and only online plus live games that I play in together. So, but after WSOP, I started to play any games like 100, 200. I was super rolled, and my downswing started in October. So I probably lost like $700,000 in the middle. January I lost 250, and before I lost like 700. I think that's it. We can look in my graph actually, but something like that. So it didn't start in 250, and it wasn't 25 buy-ins, just 25 buy-ins. There was a lot of swings in the middle because I was up a lot. In August, I won I think 100,000 on August. Then later, I started my downswing. Yeah.
So how do you approach that right now? Because this is one thing I struggle with too, is that it's really hard to make $750,000 right now with the state of the games at PLO online. And before, this might sound a bit funny, but when you lost 750K or you lost 500K back in the day, there was a ton of games you could play at any given time. I mean, there was a ton of 2550 running all the time, a ton of 5100 running all the time, even 1020 potentially. So it was sometimes easier to deal with those losses, but like, all right, I can get back in and play. Whereas now, I mean, the prospect of trying to make back, I think unless you're one of the unless you're someone like Odson or something like that who just never loses it anyway. The
Incredible, man. Runs
the
super hot. Unbelievable.
like how do you deal with with kind of facing that? Like, okay, I lost this amount of money, $800,000, $750,000, but
It's lagging up, Joe. I can hear you.
can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
This damn delay. I guess so. How do you deal with approaching poker right now, knowing that you're maybe far away from your peak up, that you were up online, and
Yeah, and
your potential winnings are going to be lower than what
that,
they
that that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons last year I took a break because when 5000 I lost that much of money playing. I saw, man, I can't just recover as 2 years ago, like 12, 10 tables on 25, 50, 5000. I still remember I playing 12 tables of 5000 deep and W Coup 10K in the same time was crazy, like huge action, 100K losses and wins every day, 50K, and you know it can't happen anymore. It's if you win 20K today, it's super good day, uh, and loses this the same amount, and that's one of the reasons that I was looking. Okay, now what can I do? Where's the next step for my career, for what I truly believe? It's one of the things that I'm most grateful for poker is to give me time. It's not just about money. They gave me time to learn the things that matter to me, which is more the productivity side, the lifestyle side of high stakes, to live my life truly. So it's one of the things that I started to live the past year after I realized that I can't like win millions anymore in poker. It's just I have to battle against Ben 8-6 on 100 200 and you know it's just can't happen.
So why start playing more 25-50 right now?
Because of this the Twitch thing. I think it's very good for my followers to watch what's going on, what's happened before. Because after you take 1 year break, as I was saying to you before the podcast goes live, it's a lot of people, new players are coming to Brazil. They know there's some Gabriel Goffi over there who won a lot in poker, but they don't know how I played, which games I played. They doesn't know what high stakes means. So I just want to get back those feelings. I just want to show my community what's going on. It's not about marketing. It's not about just saying, oh, you have to be well mental prepared to play, and I'm not playing, you know. So I was feeling, okay, let's try this stuff, and I'm really enjoying. I'm receiving a lot of messages, a lot of people, man, it's awesome. I'm like Rod Johnson just sent me a message 2 days ago saying he really likes the streaming. Of course, he likes it. He is crushing me on high stakes, but it's okay. It's okay. No problem.
Dodson's enjoying it, watching what you have every hand while he crushes you simultaneously.
It's a 5 minute delay. So and as I said, I'm not pretending to come back like super hard and put my immersion on that. Just more. Of course, I want to win. Of course, I want to be competitive. But it's not my main business nowadays. I have other stuff in my life. So I of course I will stud in the side a bit, but I'm not pretending to mastery as I used to try 4 years back. Now I'm more trying to be competitive and not just playing, because like 2 years ago, one of my goals was to sit on 100, 200, 200, 400, just me, and nobody will sit to play, was my goal. Now it's not anymore. I don't want to study 24 hours poker. I want to study other things in my life. So that's it. I think that's my approach. So if I'm not playing every day, I think the edge that I lose streaming, again, giving back to my followers, to creating my brand, to improving my brand, actually. So that's it.
It's really an interesting question. It's an interesting idea and theory that what you just said. So it's you're kind of playing for the people that watch your stuff and support your stuff, and that could potentially cost you a lot of money playing 25-50, especially if people are gaining an edge on you that you don't gain on them by kind of seeing how you play. So it's interesting that you think it's, I guess, how do you quantify the value in that situation? Like, how do you decide, is it worth it or not worth it to potentially lose a lot of money, but at the same time let people kind of inside your life and let them inside of what it's like to play 25-50?
Actually, I did just 3 live streamings at this time, but it's still a testing. I'm trying to figure out 100% what's going on, how the EV will be to me against other players. I think I'm talking against with other regulars from high stakes, trying to see what's going on really. But I think the edge, as I said, again, overall, with my products, with the social proof that I'm gaining doing that, and it's way more powerful for me because I can create content, I can create blog posts around this string, I can create my highlights, I can give a lot of content, and I have a lot of products, I'm creating a lot of products, so it's very good for me, and I can lose 50, 100, I don't know, I have to know exactly how much money I'm willing to put into play, but still a testing. And I'm doing very well actually. The last 3 streams I'm winning a lot. Not a lot, but I'm still winning 10 buys, I guess.
That's the Verve.Oasis I remember. That guy he never lost, man. I fucking hated playing against you. Every time you were always goddamn sitting there playing shorthanded with me. Every goddamn session, I'm like, God, I hope this motherfucker goes away. Like seriously, man. So what did you think when you used to see me playing 25-50-50? You got to be honest with me here. I know it might not be the most positive thoughts, but you're a positive guy, but that's okay. What did you think all those times you'd see me playing like 15 tables of 20-50, 5100, and then starting tables? What would go through your mind seeing my name there on the screen?
No, man, I like action. I like someone who 3 bets and 4 bets wide. So was very fun times for me. Me, you, and Carmont. I don't know how to say his name, but me, Carmont's a crazy guy. He 3 bets and 4 bets, 5 bets a lot. You too. So I was enjoying a lot that action. And it's not about like, oh, he's bad or he's good. I think more in terms of if I thought I had edge, but I wasn't saying, oh, Joe is bad. No, it's just, I think every poker player, when you play against each other, you think, oh, I got edge against him, so let's play. And I was super rolled, and I was never table selection. I like to start action. I like to give action. This is one of the ways that I improve my game, myself, not just on poker, but in life, to approach in life like that, to take risks, to see how the best approach the game, approach the life. It's the way I see everything that I do nowadays. If I want to go and be good at basketball, I will watch the best players. I don't know why I say basketball. I don't play that, but you got my point.
Why do you tease me like that? I'm an avid basketball player, and you tease
Oh,
me
really?
by teasing me by saying you play basketball. You got me excited for a second. You're like, wait, I don't actually play basketball. I'm just saying basketball because I'm gonna say it. Now I'm kind of sad. But yeah, let's get into hand, Verve. We got a couple hands, man. So this hand is an old. Let me pull up the screen. It's played by me versus you. Heads up.
It's lagging.
Yeah, it's lagging a bit. Let me find the hand. All right, let me zoom in on the hand here. All right, so this is posted on my old site. So we're going to talk about this hand, and This is the kind of bullshit I had to deal with, guys, playing against Verve. So it's 2550 deep. This is September 25th, 2012, when I was in the midst of my very epic September and epic year. And of course, I was probably getting pwned by Verve. So Verve min raises 2550 deep. We're about 100 big blinds deep. Verve min raises the button. I call with Ace 8-7-3, Ace 8 of hearts. The flop's 3-3-4. I flop trips. I'm pretty excited. I got trips. Verve c-bets 177 into 225. I check raise. This motherfucker clicks it back, and what the? I don't even. Okay, this hand's ridiculous. Okay, what is that? So I check raise is 650. Verve clicks it back. It looks like I click it back. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what's happening. God, Jesus Christ. No wonder why Verve wanted to play me all the time. Jesus. All right, so I click it back with trips, and Verve calls. The turn's a 6, so I have blockers to a straight. But, yeah, interesting card. I check, and Verve bets 650 into 2800. Verve, what's going on in this hand, man? What's happening here?
Man, I have no idea what's going on here. Let me see. Well, we're probably like battling a lot heads up this time. So every time when there's a pair in the flop, we are probably check raising each other every time. So I like to click it back with my entire range. So I can have like 4s, I can have 4-3, I can have just a 3, I can have 5-6-7, I can have Ace 5-2. It's because it's very difficult to fight back against me. So I don't know, my range is very wide here. And I don't remember this hand actually, of course, but
I don't remember this hand either. I think I posted this hand and I probably sent it to someone looking suggestions on what they do. Looking back in retrospect, if I could have played this hand differently now, I don't know what I would do against your click back. You're right. Your click back here does put you in quite the predicament. And I guess if you're clicking back all of your range here in this spot, then what are you? I'm not going to get too deep into current day strategy, but I think if I had to play this hand differently, I would potentially raise bigger on the flop, therefore making my turn decision a bit easier. Or maybe I kind of got the result I wanted to get in this situation. Maybe the turn I don't know the turn, man. What a sick bet sizing there.
Yeah, I think if I was on your shoes, I bet on the turn.
Oh, you bet the turn in my situation when you click it back, or when I put the
just like it's 100 more for me and a call. Yeah, it's it depends on how our session was. Like, it's difficult to say, oh, just do it, because there's a lot of level inside of this hand. We probably were playing 4 tabling at least, and it all depends if I was winning a lot or you were losing a lot. I don't know. It's difficult to just say bet, but my bet size, it's very weird. I'm probably bluffing here.
Yeah. You're definitely bluffing. You either, yeah, man. I don't know. You don't bluff, man. You always have it, though. That's the problem.
I think if I had full house, I would check the turn, because it makes more sense to induce you to bluff in the river. And if I have straight, I'll bet more. I won't bet 650 because I will extract against your 3s. So it's giving me probably bluff and just floating on the flop and leveling myself, something like that.
I'm gonna go find this hand in my database later, because there's no fucking chance I folded, and I probably got stacked here, which is why I posted the hand.
Okay.
But that's one of the hands I found on my old Liquid Poker account. Cosmo in the chat says if you raise from 944 to 1050, it's not a 577 raise. I think when you imported anti-hands into this replayer, it sort of glitched it out, and that's why you got that weird number right there. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's just that was one of that's an example of some of the joy I got to face against the exciting the Verve.Oasis over here. What's your plan on Twitch, I guess? Or are you still experimenting on streaming on there? Is it something that you find you're gonna see yourself doing maybe more full time in the future?
Um, I, my plan at the beginning was to start streaming 5.5 at 2.5 and 5, like 500 stack zoom. Um, and I just enjoyed to come back to play and said, okay, let's play higher, and I decided to grind it up like 510 in the same session, the first beginning. But at my plan was to play lower, just to enjoy, just to not have huge variance. But I feel 2550 in my home. I really love to play these exactly stakes, and I played a lot of hands over there in the past 4 years, more than 500,000 hands, and it's very fun for me to play. So now, what's my plans? I don't know. I will keep streaming at least one time per week. So after this, I will be streaming if there's some action running, and I will see how my followers take this approach of streaming, and if I feel like I want to stream more, I will be streaming. I don't think I will put a schedule because there's a lot of things going on in my life besides poker, so I can compromise myself to just, oh, I will play 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't want to play grind like 10 hours, 6 hours anymore, and just 2 hours, 3 hours maybe. But so as I said before, I'm testing and let's see what's happening. If I'm winning on a very good run, maybe I will be streaming like every day and playing every day. Let's see.
So the DGen and you came out. You started initially wanting to stream 2.5, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, 2550 is running. I might as well stream 2550 if it's there. I might as well click down and sit and play.
Yeah, exactly what's happened. So no, actually, I said to guys, I will start to 5, and I can play till 5000. But so in the first time I was winning on 5.5, and the guys on chat were saying, "Oh, come on, let's move up the stakes," and I'll go to 510. Then I started to win on 510. Okay, let's go. Then I said, okay, it's not about the bankroll. It's just play 2550, and I think it's a good game. Was good games. So there's two guys playing there that I don't want to mention that I think I got a really good edge against. So I think it's worth it.
Is one of the names rhyme with BMO KH?
What? No, I don't want to get into this. It's too much information.
That's okay. We know you're talking about Odd Odson. You feel like you have an edge against Odd Odson. That's perfect. That's something you should feel like you almost have an edge against him, I think.
Of course, just losing probably 500,000 against him. It's unbelievable how he and Johan. It's unbelievable. You saw last streaming, Johan holding every time against me. It's
there's been speculation on my Skype chat that Johan is up, like, might be the second biggest winner in online PLO this year behind Zygmunt.
Odson or Johan?
Johan.
Ah, okay. I bet. He's a very good player. Very good player. I like him.
I want to borrow the Johan 5390 account for just like 2 months, just like a couple months. Let me just borrow the account. Let me make $500,000 and let me get out. Let me get off the account, man, because that
just 5 days, man, not months.
Yeah, you're not. Gabriel's not even greedy. He just wants it for 5 days. That's it, and then you'll. Actually, we got a couple good questions from some of your Brazilian poker friends, and one of my friends, Bruno Malavasi. He's a Brazilian lawyer. If you ever need a lawyer down there, he says, Joe, could you ask Gabriel what are his thoughts on the Brazilian poker scene at the moment?
I think Brazilians are getting better and better. There are a lot of teams, like it's only in tournaments actually. I think the cash game scenario it's very it's not improving. There's like 3 4 people who I really admire. It's like Fred, my friends, Fred, Yuri, Nakama, Guilherme Cardoso. There's a few players who are really trying to improve. They are playing 5-5, 2 and 5 Zoom PLO. But I think we need to really improve the mental side of the game. Brazilians are too emotional. But we are, man. Brazilians really want to win. So I think in the next years maybe we can have a lot of cash game players. Depend on myself. I will try to teach everything I know later. I don't think we can grow to high stakes players and have like one guy battling against Todd and against Ben. But on the 5-10 scenario, I think we have some very good Brazilian players. In the tournament scenario, there's a lot of players. There's a lot of good players. They are crushing online, like Pesanho, Yuri, Akari, a lot of players like that. But they don't get recognized in the world because they don't play a lot of EPTs, World Series, because it's too expensive to travel Brazil to Europe every time. So it's okay. It's something like that. I don't know if I answered the question. I'm not seeing the question actually.
Well, you mentioned Brazilians don't get recognized, and there's one Brazilian I think that gets a pretty good amount of recognition. That's Urubu11111. Are you familiar with Urubu?
Of course, a big friend of mine.
Is he actually a friend of yours?
It's been like 5 months that I don't talk with him, but he used to be. He started a bit before me, but we spoke since then, and we discussed a lot of hands. We played a lot of live games together, a lot of flips together. He's a friend, but I'm not speaking with him anymore for the past 5 months. I don't know why. Just doing other things than play poker, something like that.
I think Urubu could really use some of your mindset coaching because he has that tendency to go sometimes crazy. And by sometimes, I mean for the past couple of years at the flipping and the degenning off his role, unfortunately.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about that. It's just the way he is, and he was trying to get help about that. I think if 3 years ago he started to improve this side of his game, the mental stuff. I was telling him like, oh, Urbu, let's study this thing. Let's try to improve and grow together because my way to high stakes was very lonely, especially because in Brazil no one was playing high stakes. So I had to study by myself to improve with some high stakes players from outside of Brazil. I have my friend Guilherme too to help me with some hands, but he doesn't play high stakes. And Urubu was the very best player to discuss hands, and he was like just getting tilted and flipping. But I really enjoy his style. I think he's a very, very good player.
What about another Brazilian I know who's played a lot of volume in the past is a man named Maya753. Are you familiar with Maya?
Yeah, I know him.
Has Maya ever came to you for coaching or to potentially improve?
Yes, I knew the guy who, because you get chips, dollars to play online, you need someone to buy from. Like Maya, I sold a lot of chips, dollars to him to play online.
Of course you did.
So I know him. He's a very healthy guy, wealthy guy actually, not healthy. Well, so. He was playing for fun. He's a young, older guy, got a lot of money, so it's fun.
So I've always speculated what I think Maya looks like or what's Maya's personality because Maya's longtime PLO player, guys. And Maya sometimes maybe makes a little bit more interesting decisions in hands than maybe some other players will. So I've always speculated that Maya is like in a penthouse suite somewhere, the drugs are flowing, and maybe there's a couple women laying around or something like that. He's just kind of playing his normal passive style, and
Yeah, exactly. He loves uh, wine, expensive wine. So he always drinking wine while he's playing.
God, I love man. That's kind of the ultimate life I think you want to have, where you can just drink some wine, play a little bit of poker, battle in there, win or lose, it doesn't matter. You're just having a good time.
Yeah, that's it.
Is George Arias, Twin Caracas, is he Brazilian?
Twin Caracas, no, he's Latino. I don't know exactly. I think Costa Rica. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Who's the most popular? I guess you mentioned you're trying to remind people that you're pretty active in terms of the high stakes PLO world. Who are the more, I guess, well-known players in Brazil right now? Do you have like other friends that are also well-known that you kind of talk about with and strategize with and stuff like that?
Not about hands, but for it's different. It's different. Like there's a very big name in Brazil, André Akari. He's a tournament player,
Okay.
and he won some bracelets 2 years ago, and he does a very good job. He's a Team Poker Stars Pro. There's Peçanha, Caio Peçanha, which he was one of the best poker players in Brazil. I think last year or 2 years ago, he was top one pocket fives on pocket fives ranking, on tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So another one is Yuri Nerd Guy. I think he won the scoop, and he's playing some 2-5, 5-10 PLO. He's a super solid tournament player, and now he's becoming a monster on PLOs too.
What's his screen name?
The nerd guy.
Oh, the nerd guy.
Yes, this guy is a monster.
Okay. Is he like an up and comer in the PLO cash games potentially?
Yes, he's changing. Last year, I think he was top one on pocket fives, won a lot of money. And there's another one, João Matias too. I think he got second on pocket fives. I mean, on tournaments, Brazilians are getting real. They are improving their games. They are very competitive, especially now with this approach of mental game to preparation outside of poker. They are taking care of their healthy, their mental states. They get into the flow and play poker properly, not just drink and after play how it used to be like 2 years ago. But now they are really pros.
Did you ever drink and play poker? Is that what you're saying? You used to drink and play PLO?
No, I was saying was not like no, it's not me. I never did that while playing very high. I did sometimes actually, not playing professionally, just for fun. I was saying not me, but the level of professional here in Brazil was something like, oh, let's go to the party and wake up hungover and play poker. No, now they are not partying on the Saturdays to really play very good game on Sundays. It's a different approach of the game. That's what I'm saying in Brazil. That's changing in the past 2 years. Oh, understand?
I'm still here. I love Brazilian people. This is kind of what I've learned from this podcast. Has really helped me make me realize how much I love Brazilians. I need to go to Brazil. How is Brazil?
Yeah, man.
Is it a safe place for Americans to travel to?
For sure, be my guest here. You love here. Benjamin X, big friend of mine. He came here. He stayed in my house for 2 months. He's traveling Brazil. He really likes here. So Asian Baller, Delier, these guys, I always invite them. They're big friends of mine. So you are invited to stay here and and know how Brazil is very, there's unsafe places, but there's a lot of safe places, and here is very beautiful. People from here love to um, to receive foreigners, outsiders. So I think you'll love here.
You mentioned that you're friends with AZN Baller and the Liar, the Thailand PLO players.
Yes.
I actually met you in person in Vegas, so I guess I'll give you're gonna talk about how nitty I am playing live PLO. So I'll share the story. So it was my first time playing high stakes PLO live ever. So I'd done really well online that year in 2012. Or 2012. This was 2012, yeah. So I went to a World Series and I didn't play much poker. And then one night I was laying in bed with a girl and she went to sleep. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go walk over to Bellagio because I was staying at the Aria. I'm gonna go play some high stakes PLO live. But I never played, so I was extremely nervous. And I played 5100 because I wanted to play Bobby's Room, but they had a list, so I sat down at 5100. And there's two guys to my right. There's like a Brazilian-looking kid like you and an Asian guy. I'm like, oh, these guys are probably like are they fun players? I'm not sure. There was like Eric Liu from Liquid Poker on there, and I think Xiao Zhang or something like that. And eventually we get to talking, and you're like, oh, I'm Verve.Oasis. I'm like, no fucking way. Get the fuck out of here. The guy next to you is like, I'm AZM Baller. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I come play live poker, and these motherfuckers are sitting on my right? This doesn't... Oh my god, I was so annoyed. But
was fun.
You talked about a hand that we might have played together, and you claim that I played it rather passively. Do you want to bring up the hand here for us to?
Oh my god, it was incredible. You had like with 50-100, you had like 20K in front of you or 15K, and someone four bets you. You three bet, someone four bets you, and you just called pre-flop with aces, like 150 big blinds deep, and the flop comes like three hearts, and I don't remember exactly what the flop, but I know for sure was like check, 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 something like that, and you showed out the aces, and I look at you and say, I can't believe you didn't 5-bet aces, 150 big blinds deep. You said, oh man, that's all my money, something like that. I said, oh, fuck you, and was just joking with you.
Yeah, looking back in retrospect in that hand, I'm pretty sure that was at the very beginning of the session, and I think I started with like 10K, and I won 5K pretty quick, and I only had like 50K in Vegas. So I was like, well, I had bad aces in that situation, so I didn't want to. I would have really been sad. I felt like you were involved in the hand somehow, but in retrospect, you might not have been involved in the hand, but. Yeah, I remember I bluffed you out of a really big pot too, and you tanked forever, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna soul read me, but I just really wanted to bluff you, and I did some really huge bluff on you in a situation, and that made my trip very, very, that made that session very happy.
No, I don't remember this hand, but
yeah, I don't remember the specifics of the hand either, but I know I bluffed you on the river, and you were tanking, and you were looking at me like, doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. You're right, and then you were gonna call me and then you fold it, and you're like, ah, right, I'm gonna fold. So.
Are you going to WSOP this year?
Of course. Are you going to the WSOP this year?
Yes.
What are you planning on playing out there? Are you planning to play cash tournaments?
The past 2 years, I've been there and playing almost every game that we're running in Bellagio, 50, 100, 100, 200. 2 years ago, I played 200, 400. Was huge game against Under Kirk. Do you know Kirk? Andrew Kirk.
I've heard of the name.
Mm-hmm. He played a lot on full tilt. We used to battle a lot. Whatever. So we played some of this type of games. But this year, I'm going to create more content to my followers. I'm pretending to do that for 1 month, and I will be playing 25, 50, and 50, 100 cash games, and I will see the schedule to play some tournaments, some big tournaments. The past 2 years, I played 5K PLO 6 Max and 10K PLO and 10K main event. That's how I played.
I look
And I
forward.
think I will play this year too.
I look forward to stacking you in a cash game of PLO this year if I decide to see you playing.
Okay, cool. Always, I'm always here for the action, man.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. I wouldn't dare aspire to do something like that, my friend. Yuri in the chat says, "Hi guys, very nice podcast. Thank you for talking about me, Gabriel. Big fan of both of you. Shout out to Yuri."
Okay, nice.
I don't know how to pronounce his last. Go ahead.
Hey, Yuri, thank you, man. Yuri is a very good player, man. But I just figured out that I forgot some names. Like I have a lot of friends in Brazil who plays really good, like Decano. I think you heard some ex-Decano. He crushes tournaments. One of the biggest players in Brazil, a big friend of mine, like Bruno Kawauchi, Nicolau Villalobos, Bruno Foster. Bruno Foster is a very big friend. He was the main event final table last year. And yeah, so when you decide to say names, you forgot to say someone. I'm just trying to be respectful to them because they are really solid and playing for like 5 years, 6 years. So yeah.
So now I'm not sure if you're just saying their names to say their names or if you think they're really good.
No, they are really good. I'm just saying because I said like three names and I really wanted to say more names because I really enjoy their games, and they put the Brazilian community in a very good shape, by my eyes, I think.
Are there any women in the Brazilian poker community?
Yes. I think the most famous is Mary Do. Do you know Mary Do? Maria Mayriking. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
She's famous. There's a lot of new players. I don't remember. I don't follow much the tournament side, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of girls playing super well, especially girlfriends of biggest names in the Brazilian community. So they are teaching her. Their girlfriends. Yeah.
Does you have a girlfriend for a pretty long time, right?
Yes, she's my fiance right now. Like, actually, my wife. We just living together for almost 1 year. We are together for 9 years. So she puts me back on track every time when start to win a lot of money, start to lose a lot of money, whatever. She's my, put your foot on the floor and keep going. She's my inspiration, actually.
Shit, man. Tell me more about her. What's you sound like you hold her in very high regard.
Yeah. She's now an entrepreneur just like me, and she dropped out the college, and I respect that a lot to the university to go into this path with me. She helps me a lot in business, and super smart. Yeah, we are together a long time. A lot of respect, a lot of things going on our lives. We're creating our mission, our passion together. So it's good to follow a very big vision together with someone. And now it's my feeling.
That sounds great, man. I think when I always think about what would make a good relationship, somebody working together to kind of pursue your guys' vision of what in terms of entrepreneurship. So I always think about what would make me the happiest is kind of having someone who's similarly like-minded as me, and it sounds like you have that. Do you think that's important for you? Do you think that helps you sort of pursue your goals better, more effectively?
For sure, man, because when you have someone that you really care, you want to make her proud of who you are, not how much money you have. It's not just about money. It's about how gentle you are, how kind you are, how value you give to the community, how generous you are with the people. So when you have someone, as I said, you care a lot, you want to be this type of person to her. And especially when I'm in this type of a relationship, we are thinking, not this year, not the next year, but some kids, of course. So makes me feel more about what I'm creating right now in my legacy. What is my legacy? I just have 25 years old. I know it's like, oh, you are too young, but I think about that. I think, oh, really, how do I want to be recognized in the next 10 years? Am I creating the stuff that I want to be? So I wake up every day thinking like that. What am I creating in my legacy? It's something like that. So all my business is around that. It's around details, excellence. I think I try to approach my life in this way, especially because my relationship and the things that I want to pass to my kids, something like that. Yeah. I never said these things in English, just in Portuguese. So trying to figure out the best way to say. Yeah.
That's all right. Most of your content is only in Portuguese, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Nigel says Gabriel is a 160. Gabriel, I don't think is a big girl grinder, guys. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure his girlfriend falls under the category of skinny and tall, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen receipts of Gabriel and his girlfriend, and she is definitely not a big girl. So you don't have the traditional. When I think about Brazilian, I think of girls maybe a little big booties. You know, they got the dance moves, they shake it, they're aggressive, they got the big booties. But is that true about Brazilian women? I don't know much about them really.
Yes. Brazilian women care a lot about our bodies, their bodies, so they work out a lot, and they have big, as you said, big boobs, the big, you know. My wife is more like elegant side. It's more fitness, super fitness, and healthy. It's more this side. We approach life more this way.
More GTO. More GTO, debatably. Godlike Roy Basin's in the chat. Shout out to Roy. I'm going to have him on a podcast tomorrow night, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Roy says, sup guys, great to hear you're building your following, Gabriel, and planning to stream more. PLO needs a larger presence on Twitch.
Nice. Hello, God. We played a lot together, I think. He used to play higher. Nowadays, I don't see him playing higher stakes, but he was a very good player, I'm sure.
A very annoying short stacker who
stacker, yeah. Oh my God.
Excelled at short stacking quite well. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think you kind of see that a lot lately with a lot of people aren't playing because I guess they're not playing as high because there's just really not as many games going. So when you take a look at the regular tables at 2-4 to 10-20, there's just not many running, and not many people are super comfortable or even winning players at Zoom. So it's kind of like, what are you gonna, what do you play? At some point, you just stop playing, I think.
Yes. I think the smart decision is to play 2-5. I think it's the best games nowadays. It's the problem is you can make a lot of money playing there, but it's in terms of EV, in terms of equity, the smart decision for a pro, on my eyes right now, it's to play lower and just because there's a lot of fishes over there. I played a bunch these days, and 10-20 example with just regulars, just very aggressive regulars, so the variance is huge. Yeah, just not worth anymore.
Miguel asks, your English is quite decent. Why don't you stream in English?
Actually, I'm streaming both in English and Portuguese right now. I just wrote in my title on the streaming because there was guys from United States outside of Brazil, and I think it would be fun to stream both in languages. I don't want to speak just in English because there's a lot of Brazilians who doesn't speak in Portuguese, and I'm doing this first because of them. They are a very good supporters of my career, which started like 6 years ago, and they are following me. There are a lot of players, and I won't just stream in English and let them my biggest supporters just because there's a lot of way more reach in English. I know I can reach a lot of people in the entire world playing this type of games, but my first priority is my community. Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you play much live PLO at all? Any high stakes PLO in Brazil?
Yeah, I built my bankroll playing live games. I've played the biggest games in Brazil. Sometimes, like in the end of the last year, I went to play some really high games. Um, I started playing live when 2 was grinding up to 400, 200 and 400 live games, and against a lot of businessmen. I was getting invited to play a lot of private games around Brazil, so it was very fun. Nowadays, the game is not that high, but when they get high, they invite me and I go. So it's a very, very nice approach because they pay all your expenses, they invite you, they give you everything. But the problem is the rake, it's super expensive as well.
I can't believe they're paying you. They're paying your expenses and they're flying. Verve, come on, hey, we'll pay for your flight. We got your hotel. Come on out. Come play. Come take some money from these guys. That's quite the interesting thing. I got.
Yeah, because you know me playing online, and I'm more aggressor. I like to put aggression on the game. So when I play live games, even though they know I'm a pro, they know I give action. They know I'm straddling. They know I'm like potting every flush draw and stuff like that. I like this type of action. I know sometimes it's um, I approach the game a bit different, but so they like my action. That's why they are inviting me, and I pay the game. It's the most important. If I lose, I pay. So they don't want someone who goes there, play super high, and sometimes I don't have the money, and you know something like that.
Are these home games or private? Are these the club poker clubs or are these home games?
That's the two. That's true. Depends on the city. Sometimes it's a private on some home, but most of the time it's in the club, but in a private room. It's not in the there's a security in front of the door and something like that.
Hmm. You're
And
okay.
but my main games when I build my everything started for me on like my transition to high stakes online happening when I was playing in Alphaville, was the biggest game in Brazil ever. I got invited. I went there. It's a private game in the only businessman. There were two pros over there. I was really crushing. Won a lot of money, millions playing. And after 1 year, I realized that they weren't playing as much as they used to play. So one day they were reloading for 20K. Someday they will start to reload 5K. I don't know. I felt weird, and I said, okay, where's the next step? What do I have to do? So in the meantime, I was playing lower stakes online to improve my game. I was playing 51 to 510 heads up against anyone, just sitting and playing, try to improve, watching videos on kite runners and a lot of video schools, trying to improve, doing coaches and stuff like that. And when this happened on these live games, I said, okay, let's moving up the limits online. So I started to sit on 10, 20, 25, and 50, 100. But this time I was like bun hunting. And in the beginning, I won like $100,000 on full tilt against X-Wing. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
So that's how it started, man. I was winning at this period like 200,000 reais every month from Brazil, which is a lot of money. And when I played online, I won like 100,000 in one day. So I said, that's my game. That's where I have to focus my time and my immersion, and that's how it happened. And I stopped to receive action on a heads up from regulars, and I said, where's the next step? 2550, 6 max. Then I got myself immersion on that. I got crushed in the beginning. I lost like 100,000 too, win and lost like later. And I said, okay, let's come back. Let's see what's going on here. How uh, how do I approach to beat the best poker players in the world? And I started to hire coaches like Jared Tendler, Elliot Rowe. Elliot Rowe is still my coach nowadays, one of the big friends of mine. There's a lot of guys who influenced my game, like Casino Crime. He's a very good friend of mine nowadays. One of the bigger hearts in the community. He got the same mindset as I do about life, about how we approach life. So he probably is listening to me. So thanks, Joe. You are a very good friend. Yeah, Joe Casino Crime. You are a very good friend, and thank you for everything, man. So, and I was telling my history, and that's how everything happened. I started to grind a lot, timetabling, studying, working on my game, trying to understand the approach. So I came from a base of live game, but I mixed it to online games and got really well. The first three, after I got immersion on online games, I won like almost 1 million too in 2011. Was a really solid run. I crushed it. Then there's a funny history that I don't think you remember. There was 2550, then jump right away to 100-200. There was no 50-100 on PokerStars. Do you remember that?
I don't think I wasn't playing 2550 at that point in time. There was always 5100.
And I was winning a lot. As I said, 1 million was super ultra rolled, and I was saying to regulars, man, let's ask PokerStars to create a 50-100, please. I want to moving up the stakes and I want more action. So I started to send emails to PokerStars, please open 50-100. A lot of players started to say. Then PokerStars opened up, and they probably said, okay, Verve wants that. I'll give them to take all his money. So the next 3 months, I lost like $700,000 playing and a huge downswing on 50-100. And I was thinking, oh my God, the same games, the same regulars, what's going on here? And 2 months later, I figured out that the bad regulars, the bun hunters, didn't set on 50-100. Only the best poker players in the world, just South, Ben, and everyone. So I was playing 6 max against super tough guys, and the downswing was very normal and need to happen so I can grow as player and person.
I love how you describe the older days, which were only a couple of years ago, and how much different the climate of online poker, online PLO specifically is right now. And it's just this isn't going on. I mean, there's a couple, there's 100, 200 that periodically runs when like JRD was playing, Jay Ricardo from Brazil was playing for a little bit. It was running, but for the most part, you don't see any action at these stakes anymore. And when you do, it's crazy how much different and how much, I guess, less money for most people. There's still a lot of money to be made for the top players, but for other players, there was a very, I wouldn't say a good chance, but there was a realistic chance you could have these type of upswings back then. And now I feel like those type of upswings aren't very realistic for a large majority of players. And I think it's got to be hard to adjust for somebody like yourself or anyone who was having these really big upswings back in the day, and now it's like you're playing almost the same stakes. It's just so much different. You know what I mean? And I guess
it's very difficult, man. It's very hard to see the lot. I have some pics in my computer that there were like 16 tables of 2550 running at the same time with one fish in each table. Was unbelievable action. I was like waking up every day super pumped to grind. Now you open up and there's like 10 big players playing, and you can't win $1 million anymore. So sometimes some friends of mine from Brazil will ask, "Oh, come on, Gabriel, you won a lot of money playing. What's going on?" I said, "Man, it's different game. It's not the same game I used to play. It's not fun as it used to be." So I like really to go immersion on something that I like. So if you see me doing entrepreneurships thing, you bet I will be mastering this stuff. You bet I will be like 100% immersion on that. I can't do that anymore in poker. There's no games to play. There's no $1 million to win. And I'm not saying I use it's easy. Of course it's not. But if you put a very hard work, as I'm able to do, like to stay here and study 24 hours, like odd odds game, I can do it. I used to do with another regulars. It just doesn't work anymore. That's the reality. Sometimes people don't understand, because when you play back then, it's totally different game from now on. And as you said,
Do you like the Zoom only? Do you wish it was different where it was regular tables as well, even with the problem with C scripts?
yes, for sure. I really miss the game's regular tables, especially DPN tables, which the biggest action was happening. My favorite limit is 2550 DPN against Isildur, Hillary, a lot of these guys. Was one of my favorite days. Huge swings, and Carmont, Joe Ingrud, and it was very fun, man. But now just Zoom, just short stacks, and sometimes the action is not that fun anymore.
I think Zoom has its positives. You can start sessions anytime. There's always, I mean, not always games running, but I don't know. I think Zoom definitely is responsible for a lot of these changes. You can't play, you can't 4 or 5 or 6 table three-handed with a couple other players that you want to battle and kind of have open seats for potential fun players to join. And with seating scripts running out of control, I understand why stars, whether that was the reason why they introduced more Zoom, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's definitely killed the action at almost all the limits on PokerStars.
Agree. Yeah, I understand too about that, because it was in some way ridiculous that 25 people is on the waiting list, waiting for a big fish, and it was getting super weird. And I think it's one of the reasons. I'm not quite sure a lot of the role reason, but yeah, I think I understand the point of stars, but in the same way, they fuck it up their game on for regulars and professionals who wants to really grind a lot of tables. I like to grind a lot of tables. I like the action. I like 12 tables. Sometimes I was playing 25, 50, 16 tables. Just adjust the way. So for tabling, it's Zoom. It's different game.
I'm just gonna look at the lobby right now on a Sunday at this time of the day. I'm just curious what.
Let me see.
I lagged out a little bit. Let me check it out here right now.
1020 running.
Yeah, so right now there's 5, 2, 4 regular tables running, like 2, 3, 6, a couple 5, 10, and then a 10-20 with Zoom. And this is like a pretty peak time. I feel like this time is a time there should be a lot of games running. And the 10-20 is only running because there's like one random player in there, and then when that random player leaves, I think the action will probably break anyway. So it's just, I don't think I haven't actually talked to a lot of other regulars who are still playing a lot now if they think that they would rather have it be non-Zoom. I know I talked to a couple players. I think the top players might enjoy Zoom because they just do so well that they just want to play. So they don't necessarily care if it's Zoom or if it's regular tables for the most part. And some people really enjoy the ease of access, meaning you can stop and go and you can kind of whatever. But I mean, I don't think they're going to change it, but I think they should definitely think about changing it at 2550 and above.
Yeah, and another reason it's it's very easy nowadays to hire a coach, to watch a video on run tones, a lot of the biggest fishes back then, I can see them, they are playing like 2-5, 3-6. They are not playing high stakes anymore because they realized that they were playing against the best poker players in the world. So it's just, even though if come back the regular tables, I don't think so. The game is going to be the same because everyone is learning at least a bit, and not just donating the money as it used to be. What do you think about that?
No, I definitely agree with that. It's a good point. Obviously, with the training sites now being more PLO focused, definitely easier for people to improve. Obviously, as you said, getting a coach. I know people enjoy doing that as well. You know, I think if with it being so long since regular tables existed, I think it might never ever come back actually. But you know, yeah, we'll see. All Zoom. I guess that's probably what it's going to be on Stars for the most part. It's going to be mainly Zoom, and I feel like you're going to see the games kind of get slowly and slowly less players playing. And
Yeah, I think we will always have money to play to win in poker. Uh, like you can play. I think the two five $500 game will be always be running. You can earn like 10,000, 5,000 per month very easily. I don't know how much money you can make playing just that in a month, but for someone with big goals, as I have really big goals, it's not the way I want to approach my life anymore. And if the N550 can bring me my closer to my dreams, my vision, I just move on. I just have other things to do, just like entrepreneurship. It's the way I like creating business, creating teams, hire people to join my team, to join my academy. So it's my new passion, to really thinking strategically how to create value to a community. So one of the reasons that I'm here too, it's because you invited me last year sometimes to come here, and I was just creating content to Portuguese only. So now I want to expand. I want to speak in English. I want to talk to more people. I know I can give a lot of value to the entire community, not just pokers, but a lot of entrepreneurs, because I'm really immersed on that. I'm really mastering this stuff. Of course, I'm very young, but I just want to get the word out and speak with my heart, everything I'm feeling, everything I'm studying and learning, just the way I'm doing right now. Yeah.
if there are people that speak English but still want to get like kind of kind of check out what you're doing, is there a place they can check it out? Is there something they can watch that's in English, they can read in English that they could see?
Right now it's just on my Twitch, and later I'll be starting. I have plans to do it, to translate all my content, and I will be starting to maybe creating videos on my YouTube in English. Of course, I have to improve the way I speak, I think, to be more clearly and to put the words right, to everyone understand exactly what I want to say. But so yeah, it's a part of my plan for the next years.
It's a pretty good idea. I think obviously a lot of people speak English. Not many people speak Portuguese that are in the poker community. So if the more you can appeal to them and potentially get them to find your content and be able to understand it and enjoy it, I think would be a good thing for you, because I feel like you have a lot of good things to offer. You have a lot of value to offer people that want to get better, want to learn, and yeah, I think if obviously right now it's just I've checked some of it out, but it's only in Portuguese. I can't understand what you're saying. I mean, I probably would spend more time with it as well if I could understand what you're saying. I just can't, I'm like, fuck, I can't. I understand papi and mami and bonita and margarita and stuff like that, but I don't understand most of the other words, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, Mr. R says, sorry, Joey, but something really bugs the shit out of me. I have a really hard time understanding your approach to bankroll management considering the high variance in PLO. What's your thoughts on bankroll management when it comes to PLO?
The action was for me or for you?
The question's for both of us.
Okay.
Give your thoughts on it.
I think the games you have to let me see. First, you have to be comfortable while you're playing. But in terms of buy-ins in PLO, I think you for play high games, the highest games like 25, 50, 10, 20, you have to have at least 100 buy-ins, at least. But even though nowadays it's not the right amount, I think you have to have more, but it's not about the money. It's about how passive income do you have, how many business companies and stuff that you have, not business and companies, but how many things you have outside of poker that can put you on a comfort mode to play your games, in something like that. So I don't think if your income just comes from poker, it's a good way to play high stakes or something like that. I have 6 companies right now. One of them is this, not just mine. I have percentage on the companies, but one of them is the BSOP, Brazilian Series of Poker. It's the second biggest tournament in the world, just behind World Series of Poker. We have the second media site on the world, which is Super Poker. It's just behind the Poker News. So we have a lot of things going on just outside of my game, you know. So when you have a lot of things to bring value to your life, financially saying, it's more easy to play a lot of games. But in terms of just pure bankroll management for PLO, I recommend 100 buy-ins at least.
I love how you just worked in there that you had a percentage of the Brazilian poker tournament series in terms of bankroll management. Unfortunately, guys, I think a lot of you guys watching might not have pieces of
No, I didn't know. I just said about my own reality, but after I said 100 buy-ins.
That's really sick that you have a piece of the Brazilian series of poker. That's pretty fucking cool. That is, yeah, insert random brags, Daniel says. I agree, man. That was pretty, Verve is...
Poker Stars just bought half of our company right now.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear. That's pretty cool. What are your other, so you have 6 companies? I'm going to go back to that question that he just asked because I have a more noob answer for him. But what other companies are you involved with right now?
We have a magazine too, which is the biggest magazine in Brazil, Floppy. We have magazine of poker, of course. Mm-hmm. We have a TV Poker Pro, which is a live streaming of tournaments, of everything that's happening. And like BSOP, we have a streaming of the final table and stuff, and the biggest hands, etc. I invest outside of poker too, music. There's one guy who I'm putting a lot of strength on that to improve. I think he will be a next star in Brazil, Rodrigo Delarque. So I can send you some music after this to you see. Cool. Yeah, that's it. I like to invest in a lot of things, but nowadays my biggest investment it's in myself and my company and the info products that I'm creating, my social media, and everything that I'm doing right now. Like my Moving Up, which is my online course. There's more than 400 people right now, and it's great. And my waiting list is huge. So yeah, I'm putting a lot of my time on that and to creating a really good content to improve lives. That's it.
What's the name of the person that you're involved with that does music?
Rodrigo Delarque. Rodrigo.
Okay. If you could, if I'm definitely want to check it out. Maybe he can. Maybe I can talk. I can get him to put together a 15-second song for the Poker Live podcast that might involve the word "Poppy" in it because we need.
Awesome. Definitely.
Can you say "Poppy" for me? I'm just curious how you say it.
Papi.
Papi, papito, papito. I wonder if Portuguese papi is different than Spanish papi.
Yeah, it's different. Papi, it's more pai. We don't say papi here. It's just for fun. It's more
Good.
Spanish.
Okay. So when I say papi, I'm saying it from a
Enemy.
Portuguese standpoint.
Yeah, we say in Portuguese, papi, it's pai. It's father. It's papito. No, papito, papi. We don't say this usually, but
Wait,
it's more
papi?
Spanish.
I thought I made
Pa
up papito. Actually, that's actually a word.
yes, yes. No, we say sometimes papito.
Oh my God, I've been speaking Portuguese all along. I've been telling people I'm speaking Spanish. Really, I'm speaking Portuguese, guys.
No,
Okay.
no, no. It's not Portuguese words. It's more it's a Spanish word. But
Damn it.
we say probably the same way you are saying right now for fun. You know, just mi papito, just for fun. You know.
Okay, good. So I'm speaking Spanish, but I'm speaking from a Portuguese point of view.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. We got to give a couple shout outs, Verve. We made it like an hour and 20 minutes in this. I have to give a couple shout outs. I'm fiending to give shout outs because I love giving shout outs. We got my boy Deep House Filthy. He's been here for a very long time. What's up, Deep House? Jonathan Alexis, Riviera, Urena from Mexico. What's up, Puppy? Andre S. Sam Pecos. What's up, Sam? What's up, Andre? My boy Joe Torn. What's up, Puppy? Wim Roseboom. He wants a Jungle Man impression. You got a Jungle Man impression first, Verve.
Jungle Man. Sorry, ask again, please.
A Jungle Man impression.
What do I think about him?
Do you have an impression of him?
Yeah. No, I played against him on a lot of online games and live games. I don't know what Troy is asking. Exactly.
Okay, an impression meaning you act like Jungle Man.
Ah, okay. He's saying I'm act like Jungle Man.
No. Can you act like Jungle Man? An impression.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
All right, you guys got to give me people in the chat. Give me the translation on this one for Verve. Marcus Lidge, Puppy, Daniel T, Tiago, Corales. Portuguese lesson 1. Pape equals daddy, pai equals father. What a weird.
Open up the chat.
The chat. There's some Portuguese being spoken in the chat.
Let me see. I was lagging, so I had to close. Let me see.
Oh, okay. Here, I'm gonna mention a couple regulars from the high stakes PLO world back in the day, and you give me a sentence or two on your thoughts on them, okay?
Okay.
Aria Boo.
Super aggressive.
1 Ronnie R 3.
Spirit sometimes.
Genius 28.
Super good.
Mati Purley, aka Mahit.
Mati Pirli. I'm not sure. A good player.
Bum. Deldar 182.
Short stacker and funny guy.
Annoying motherfucker. Long 90110.
Oh my God, this guy, man. We play. You mean the guy who I played 100-200? Probably there.
The guy who played. So there was obviously a couple people playing on the account. So you can give your impression on either account player that played on that account.
I play one of the first times that I played 200-400, which were the biggest game that I played. Was in the same table. I was spotting him, and I was 4-tabling 200-400, 100 big blinds. Was like super crazy by my part. I wasn't rolled for that, of course, but I was super pumped.
That guy was a very legendary player.
Okay, they are saying to talk like Gentleman. Okay, I understand now. I don't know. I don't follow Jungle Man much. I played some live games with him, but I don't know what's his style and stuff like that.
All right, I'm gonna try to do a Verve.Oasis impression. Okay, I've been picking it up. All right, hold on a second. I gotta make sure I got the accent down first. So let me just get this accent down. Okay, I come to play, and I just make sure that I like the action. So I go to play 25-50, All right, I gotta work on my accent. I'm gonna get a Verve.Oasis impression down for the next live stream I do.
Okay.
I gotta work on that accent a bit better. I come to fuck man, I can't get it down. All right. Give a Tom Dwan impression.
Mm, I don't watch much these guys, man. I mean, it's difficult to watch someone that you don't know much. Is it?
Do you have an impression of anybody?
Tom Duan actually. It's like 3 years ago. I used to watch high stakes poker, and I remember he's starving the flop like this. Don't one. Okay, like this. He looked to to the to the like but I'm not in the imitation side of it's not my part of personality.
I'm gonna get a Verve.Oasis impression down really fucking good. I gotta be honest with you, man. I've been really working on my Hollywood Haxton impersonation, but now
Okay,
he started growing out his damn hair, and now he's got new glasses. So my old Hollywood Haxton impersonation isn't quite. I gotta update it. I gotta get some new glasses for it. So let's go over a couple more hands. I'm gonna pull up a hand we played before, and this is actually a really basic hand, but I would have played the hand differently in retrospect. So I'm just gonna pull this hand up real quick.
okay.
All right, this is a hand played at 5100. It's three-handed between me, you, and Longer Pig. Do you know who Longer Pig ended up being?
Oh no, it's everyone was saying that it's Gozoboro, which is
Yep,
what's his name?
Harrington.
Harrington, yeah, Harrington.
Yeah,
It's
so
100% sure.
I get. Did you know that Longer Pig was Gozaburo back in the day when they were playing at the same time?
Probably, but I don't think they are a lot of good, and so I'm happy to give action to them, and I gave action. I lost a lot of money, so probably I'm wrong, but I thought they were spewy.
Wait,
So I think the strategy was like, okay, let's make Verve think that we are fish. So I won a lot in the beginning, then they start to crush me super hard, and I got involved with Longer Pig and Gozoboro, played a lot of hands against them heads up 50-100,
mhm.
and I lost a lot for like 500,000 probably
Jesus
swings
Christ.
of them.
Swongs. Well, this hand's between me and you, of course.
Okay.
So we're me and you are 14,000 effective at 51. Longer Pig's on a short stack, and you open the button with Ace 5 3 8, Ace 3 8 of diamonds, and I 3 bet. Okay, aces, Ace 3 4, one suit. Longer Pig obviously cold calls the big blind because why wouldn't you cold call the big blind with a $5,000 stack? And you call the flop's 9 4 2 with two diamonds. So you flop obviously you flop extremely well for ace high. You have a wrap with nut flush draw and four backdoor trip draws and one backdoor straight draw and one gut shot straight flush draw. And I only have aces with a gut shot. So I check, hoping Longer Pig probably bets, and then you fold, and then I can go all in versus Longer Pig because me and you are pretty deep. You make a Verve.Oasis size bet 1,300 into 3,000. I check jam. I check pot. Yeah.
Dream.
So I check pot, and then Longer Pig folds, and you go all in, and then you, of course you make goddamn flush because you never missed a flush draw in your fucking life versus me. And so in retrospect, I saw this hand when I Googled it. In retrospect, I would not check raise the flop. I probably would check call the flop and then end up getting myself into a tricky situation. Or on the turn, I would check fold. But yeah, what do you think about my play here from
Um,
all fronts?
I think you check raise is bad, of course. I would call because we are deep.
Yeah.
And the bet small, you have like you could have a safe turn and see what's happening because if I go a win of 130 30 blinds more, I will have sets or have like some hand like that, or I will have like nine 5-6 ace flush draw, 9-5-6 and flush draw would be crushing your aces and gut shots. So I prefer to just check call against 1,300 and see what's going on with longer pig, hoping he's potting, and I fold, and you call.
You know, it's funny looking back at these hands in retrospect how differently I play them, because I mean, obviously the games change, and the I guess the ranges of hands people get all in post flop change as well, but this hand's this hand's not interesting. I think, man, I probably just want to stack you at any point in time. I think that's probably a lot of my motivation in a lot of these hands. I just want to get all the money in against you and try to win, and unfortunately that's not a good strategy to take against Verve.Oasis, unfortunately. So I feel like I could do a whole entire podcast on just hands me and you played against each other. And in fact, I might do that.
Let me see if I watch, if I see some hands that we played.
Go ahead, check them out.
Mr. Joe Ingram, and see how much I'm up or down against you.
Mr. Joel Ingram. Mr. Joel Ingram. Okay, I'm getting the accent down better now. Me Ponya. I missed that guy too. Me Ponya. Let's give a couple shout outs while Verve's checking his database. Bruno Malavazzi. My boy Bruno. What's up, Bruno? Versace. Is anybody out there playing poker today? Are any guys playing, what's going on in Micro Millions or something? I don't even know what's happening on Poker Stars, to be honest with you. I know there is the Micro Millions, there's NCAA making the games a little bit better. March Madness going on right now.
I found here, let me see. Just loading. Let's see what's going on. 25.50. You are winning, man, on 25.50. $15,000. 15.
Well, technically, I am up money at 25.50 lifetime.
Okay, let's see.
Just maybe not. I'm probably up money versus you, to be honest with you.
You what?
I'm probably up against you lifetime.
Probably. I don't know. I'm not sure. But as I can see on the 25.50, you are up. So what are you playing nowadays, Joe? What's going on with you?
It's a great question, Verve. I live in the United States. Of course, in the United States, the only options you have are a couple American sites, which I will not mention anymore, and you have untracked European sites, which are my main source of play, I think. Some of the one of the American sites, which I don't want to mention anymore because I don't want to advocate unlegalized poker in the United States anymore by mentioning these websites. That I'm not going to do that, because I learned that I learned that from talking to somebody that I should stop advocating for these websites that aren't technically legal. But untracked Euro sites, I think most of my play is on right now.
Okay, so you're living in the United States. Where?
I live right outside Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. Daniel T says it's not GTO to listen to podcasts and not play it. Yeah, you got to take advantage of the podcast Run Good, guys, in case you're out there playing, because studies have been shown that you win more money while playing poker and listening to the podcast and taking advantage of the podcast Run Good. So if anyone
Really?
Yeah, that's true. The podcast Run Good's a very real thing. People are up $3.8 million listening to the podcast or being a guest on the podcast. And yeah, so the last recent big success, Jason Kuhn, he was on the podcast, and oh shit, and I fell. And then the next day he won the high roller event at LAPC. So
can grind now against Ben 100 to 100.
You want to play 100? Yes, you should do that. Of course you should do that. That's a good idea. We'll take some questions, guys. If anybody out there in the chat has questions for Gabriel, now is the time to ask. English, please. Because I can't.
I found some hands.
Oh boy, Jesus Christ. Okay. Don't find the ones I was on drugs and played and made random plays against, please.
Let me see.
Being a guest gives you a multiplier. That's actually a good point. Gabriel's searching his database, searching for a hand I made a retard play at, and so he can show it off, and then I can look like that. Sru says, I don't understand what you mean untracked Euro sites. What sites are these? I live in the United States and know all the other US sites. What do you mean untracked Euro sites? Sru, it's a great question, my friend. It's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you. I can't get into specifics anymore on sites. Oh no, my hair. I have to put my headband back in. I'm trying to. I wore a headband today because I wanted to be like more Brazilian. So I know you Brazilians love your headbands.
I'm not sure about that.
Marcus says, how do you tag players? He finds it the hardest thing. I don't actually want to answer that question. We already talked a bit about this. Ask him what he thinks about Yorubu111, Josh says.
What's the question?
Verve's still in the database, guys. He's analyzing some hands right now. He's running simulations.
Actually, it's lagging a lot. That's why I'm slowing. I'm trying to open one hand, but it's like loading. What was the question?
Ask him on what he thinks about Yorubu111. Josh asks.
Yeah, I answered. Urubu is a very good player, but unfortunately he doesn't have the mindset to approach high stakes, to approach a lifestyle of a poker pro or a mental game. You know, you have to not just be good in skill, in theory, and you need to be good outside of poker, how you handle your profession as a poker player. And Urubu needs to fix that to improve again, to rise up the stakes. His thought process is very good. He's one of the best Brazilian poker players. But yeah, that's it. So he's a friend of mine, but I'm not talking with him for the past 5 months. So I'm not sure what he's doing right now, if he's trying to fix this problem. But I really enjoy him. We played a lot of high stakes live games. We did a lot of flips together to have some fun. I have some a very fun history with him. One time we were playing live games, then playing like 10K stack was a huge game. Then the game broke. Are you listening to me, Joe?
Yeah. Okay.
Because no, you just stop. I don't know if it's lagging. So the game broke 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we started to flip to try to recover our losses, and he won. Was like a huge swings. I don't know how he ended up. So he left the club. Then I was paying because I lost, and he came back like running and said, "Come on, Goffi, you don't know, you won't believe." And I said, "What's happened, man?" And he said, "Man, they took my car. The police, you know, they took his car because he parked in a wrong place." And I said, "Man, why did you put on the parking, you know?" And he said, "Fuck you, man. It was like 10 reais. It was like $5 to put over there. I won't put there." And I said, "Man, you're unbelievable, man. You just flipped 10,000 with me, and you don't want to pay $5 to park your car right?" And was like 1 hour laughing about that, and it's unbelievable. That's Rubu. That's the way he approached life. The money in poker is not reality to him, and it's crazy.
So Yorubu, that sounds like Yorubu. He wouldn't pay $5 to get his car properly parked, but he'll flip for hundreds of thousands of dollars and pay you to do it in the process. So Razios1 asks a good question. He says, "Nice podcast, Verve. Do you think that with your currently mindset and after learning a lot, would you be able to reach Supernova Elite with the actual ratio of USD to Brazilian? Isn't that a profitable deal?"
No, it's not my Reyes also. Reyes, I know him, very good friend, very good player from Brazil, and it's not my goal. I don't want to be 10 hours in front of computer grinding poker. It's not the way I approach life. It's not, and I can earn way more money outside of poker nowadays. And it's not just about poker. It's about a lifestyle, the way I call high stakes lifestyle. I have a speak around that, about that, how I approach life, how I do the things I do in the daily basis. So Supernova Elite doesn't fit with my actual lifestyle. So it's, even though if I could win like $1 million playing 10 hours, 15 hours in the long term, which is the way I think right now, it's not worth enough for me.
That makes sense. Dan Foo's in the chat. He says, we already talked about this, but he said, ask him, please, why he started streaming on Twitch.
I think I answered that in the beginning, but let's answer again. After 1 year break, a lot of people are following me, and they doesn't know what's happened before. They what's going on, and I want to show people what is exactly high stakes, what is this type of cash games that I used to play, and other than that, it's a very good way to be in touch with my followers. And when I watched, I think Jay Carver Twitch, I said, oh, this is nice stuff. I can talk in the chat. I can speak to people, because I used to do Hangout just like we are doing right now. I do that sometimes. But Twitch is different. I'm approaching a real game over there that I really enjoy to play, plus the interaction, plus the value that I can give by talking to people or just showing the games. Everything together makes sense to come back and play a bit. If it was just, okay, let's just play, you probably won't see me playing on Stars. And but plus Twitch, plus this how do I say, this that I just said makes sense to Twitch. Even though, as I told before, I think I'm losing edge on the games, because of course the regulars are watching me. If they are smart enough, they are watching how I played 5 minutes ago, so they can adjust. But the edge I lose playing again outside of the game, with my followers, with my community growing around high stakes games. So thinking about money, I can see a profit over there, even though I lose money playing.
So if people want to find you on Twitter, you're at Gabriel Goffi. On
Yes.
Twitch, you're also at the same screen name, correct?
Yes, Gabriel Goffi, yeah.
If anyone wants to get in touch with you about anything, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Right now, for English, it's Twitch. I will be streaming probably next hour. So I will try to do both, English and Portuguese. If you ask me questions in English, I will be answering them. And you can write me an email on my site, gabrielgoffi.com. There's a tab, and when you click on contact me, the email will pop up, and you can write me an email over there, or Facebook, or Twitter. Everyone is Gabriel Goffi. My social media is Gabriel Goffi. Only Facebook is Gabriel Goffi Poker, because the Gabriel Goffi was taken. But actually, I'm negotiating my name again. I just paid Argentina guy to give my name back. I'm waiting the transaction.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna eat. I'm actually gonna by eat. I'm gonna go back to sleep. Greg Noble says, can't confirm listening to the podcast is GTO. Just got in the final table, Ace Jack versus Queen Jack on Jack High Flop, and he beat the Queen. Where's my run, good Joe? I want answers, Poppy. Greg, you gotta check in. You gotta pay me first. You never commented in the chat. You can't come here expecting to take advantage of the podcast run good and not contribute to the motherfucking chat. Okay, Greg? So in the future, please contribute to the chat before you come in here demanding questions and demanding answers like you just did for me. You got it, Greg? Good. All right, Gabriel, we're going to wrap things up, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Like you said, you're going to be streaming you're going to be streaming soon, so if you guys want to check it out, go ahead, check out his Twitch. He plays 2550. He's obviously you can hear more from Gabriel if you're interested. I'll be back tomorrow night, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern with Godlike Roy. Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna go old school, a very legendary 2+ tour. Former Deuces Cracked coach, former high stakes boss, Foxwoods Fiends, aka the Evils on Full Tilt. And Thursday, I'm gonna have my buddy Adrian Phoenix, who streams a lot on Twitch. He's gonna come on as well, 4 p.m. Eastern. Those times, I just threw times that you guys are all over the fucking place, but I just get people when they're available. And that's it, Gabriel. Anything else you want to add in here?
No, just thank you for having me, for inviting me, for the fun. Was nice. Thank you everyone who are sending messages. And that's it, man. I will be on streaming. I will be answering all the questions. I want to give value to the community and brings value to poker the way poker gave me the value, you know. So.
Well, I wish you luck. I hope that you kind of build your following. It continues to grow and grow. I think you have a lot of great things to offer people, and I'm happy to have you on. I'm happy to have you on again in the future, and I'll be giving people updates on what's been happening with you. I hope that your foray back into the high stakes PLO world goes well, and you have some extra money. I mean, I don't think you need more money, to be honest with you, but more money can't hurt. So hopefully you continue to do well, my friend.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Joe.
All right. See you, buddy.
See ya.
Guys in the chat. Peace out. Much love. Be back soon.